Just about 9 minutes now after the hour of 11 o'clock. Yes, part 2 of your Fridays Let's Talk shows. Let's go to your host for this one. It's Larry Walters. Hello.
Hello, everybody. This is Bruno.
I guess we got Bruno.
That's of course Larry, WOCO here.
How many times am I going to tell you? That's Commissioner William W. Sentowski. One of these days we're going to get it right for you, Bruno. One of these days, I swear.
Just remember, you're just the commissioner of ACW, not NWA Wisconsin.
True enough. Larry, how are you? Good to see you again here at WOCO.
I'm doing well. I was just trying to give Terry a hard time by changing the voices around just a little bit and having Bruno kind of throw things for a loop.
Nice curveball. And we got some stuff to talk about today, big man.
I see that. You got a couple of things that you want to talk about, especially with one coming up tomorrow.
You better believe it, and we are finally coming to this area, folks. We are so excited. NWA Wisconsin, live local pro wrestling. We've been here before on WOCO Radio talking about some of our awesome shows we put together at Zielinski's Ballroom in Pulaski. This time, we're coming here, folks. NWA Wisconsin presents Showdown at the Wrangler Inn tomorrow night. At 8894 Old 41 Road, the Wrangler Inn, folks. We are bringing professional wrestling back to the Oconto area. It's going to be absolutely huge. We got several big matches on tap for this one, including 1, 2, 3, 4 that I can count championship matches, the biggest of which, the NWA Midwest Heavyweight Championship. Silas Young defends the title against simply amazing Justin Dredd. Now, if you're at our last show at Zielinski's Ballroom in Pulaski, Dredd won the number 1 contendership for the Midwest Heavyweight title in a fantastic match back on April 18th. Now he gets his chance to take one of the top championships in the entire area, the NWA Midwest Heavyweight title, held by such guys as Kamikaze Ken Anderson and the late Chris Candido. That belt could end up around Justin Dredd's waist if he can defeat Silas Young for it. That's the main event coming up tomorrow night at the Wrangler Inn. Also, the NWA Wisconsin Heavyweight title, Shane Hills, the brand new champion, just beat Mason Quinn for the title at our last show in Pulaski in April. Mason Quinn invoking his rematch clause. The two of them go at it one more time for the NWA Wisconsin Heavyweight title. That's coming up tomorrow. And check this, a 3-way dance for the ACW Heavyweight Championship. The current champion, Dinn T. This is a guy who trained under the likes of King Harley Race, a former NWA World Champion. He defends his title in a 3-way dance against both Cadillac Nick Colucci, a former ACW champion, and one of my guys, Diamond Dave DeMone. This ought to be a heck of a 3-way dance for the ACW Heavyweight title. Plus the X Division Championship, also up for grabs. The brand new X Division champion, Jerry Stylz. Can't believe that Jerry Stylz is actually a champion in ACW, and wonders never cease. Defending, are you ready for this? Against the Dog of War, Kujo. That is going to be amazing. And Bruno, we expect to hear from a couple of these gentlemen coming up in the show.
Yeah, we have Jerry Stylz calling in, and as well as Kujo, just to kind of touch base on the Border City battle.
Yep, it's going to be fantastic. Larry, you ready? This is going to be a big night.
I have to ask you, what's the X Division Championship?
The X Division, we like to say, a lot of people think it's kind of a quote-unquote cruiserweight thing, but as they used to say in TNA, the X Division isn't about weight limits, it's about no limits. The X Division style of wrestling is where you get guys doing unbelievable maneuvers, stuff you didn't know the human body was capable of performing, unbelievable leaps from the top turnbuckle all the way to the floor, incredible flips and spins, and it's the aerial maneuvers that some of these guys perform is amazing. But then those guys will also be mixing it up with big, heavy-hitting power bruisers like a Kujo, for example. Kujo's a big dude, big barrel-chested guy, big old kind of brawler, and he's one of the most violent competitors I've ever seen in the ACW ring. So the X Division action is not just maybe two big dudes just slugging it out. The X Division action can go anywhere. It's phenomenal.
One of the things we're going to talk about real quick here before, and remind people that if you're coming down Highway 22, you know Highway 22 is closed. So what you got to do is go up to coming west, coming east out of Oconto Falls, Suring, Gillette. You want to go up to Lena. So take 141 north to Lena. Take County Highway A across. County Highway A will take you back to 41. Take 41 to the left. And that's the easiest way. You don't have to go down to Abrams or that detour route. But yeah, you can get up the county line faster if you go up to Lena across A, east on A, and pick up 41 north.
Outstanding. That's a good note, because wasn't aware there was construction till we headed up here to WOCO. We ran into the ever-loving orange signs. But like we say up here in Wisconsin, we got 3 seasons: winter, Packers, and construction. And usually 2 of the 3 overlap. And
that's constructions and Packers.
Yeah, usually.
Well, except this summer it's been winter. So let's talk about some of the matches you had in over at Zelensky's the last time we were talking about some of those big matches that may have been a surprise.
Well, to be honest, I didn't exactly expect in his match for the number 1 contendership that for the NWA Midwest title that Justin Dredd was going to come away victorious, but sure as the day is long. There's Justin Dredd, who's not the biggest guy. He's a former ACW X Division champion a couple times over. He's not the biggest guy. I mean, he may not even be quite to 200 pounds, maybe a touch over. But the dude is in phenomenal shape, and he's so damn flexible. The guy is the epitome of what I was talking about with the X Division, where he can do these unbelievable maneuvers. That's why they call him Simply Amazing. With the competition he had at Zelensky's Ballroom, I didn't expect him to come out with the number 1 contendership to the NWA Midwest title, but he did. And I never thought I'd see Jerry Stylz wearing the ACW X Division Championship belt, but yet he is. It just goes to show you never know. And I'm the commissioner of All-Star Championship Wrestling, and I never know what's going to happen with these guys.
You mean you don't pay the winners?
Oh, believe me, I do. But
not that way. I mean, pay the guys to take a fall? No, I'm only kidding.
My administration would be above such nonsense, let me tell you. And that goes for you too, Bruno.
Well, but Bruno's the one to make sure you don't do it. That's the point.
Well, the thing is, Bruno also here has a little bit of an issue with one of the members of my cabinet, and that's another thing that we're going to be handling coming up tomorrow at Showdown at the Wrangler Inn. Bruno, go ahead and expound on this.
Well, it all started back in December over in Pulaski, and time after time after time, Weasel just wants to get involved, wants to cheat, and wants to do everything he can to make sure his guy wins, which I can understand and I can respect to a certain point. When you go ahead and you cheat and you break the rules to try to succeed, it's just not worth it.
Okay, so is this could be like a little bit of a grudge match,
so to speak? I mean, what we have going on is an official contract signing tomorrow night over at the Wrangler Inn, just for our boxing match over in Pulaski next September.
Okay.
This coming September. It's going to be an exciting night. To be honest with you, I feel kind of guilty. I mean, if you ever meet the Weasel in person, he's a small guy. And if you ever meet me in person, I'm a pretty big guy for most people's standards.
Nah.
You do have a little bit of a weight advantage there. You know, Weasel is a proud member of my cabinet. You know, Mr. Ness is one of my associates, but still, in NWA Wisconsin, you know, I unfortunately am not the higher power, so it tends to be a little bit of an every man for himself thing. So if Weasel needs a little more support, rest assured the cabinet will be there. But this issue with you guys, he may have to settle that somewhat on his own, because you're kind of bigger than me too.
I'll tell you what, he's the enforcer. He's your enforcer. I mean,
absolutely, he is. Bruno is a valuable security asset to NWA Wisconsin, no doubt about it. But Weasel every now and then, Mr. Ness, as I should call him, he does tend to vocalize a little bit too much, and every now and then he has to handle his own business in the ring.
So you even admit he's a weasel too?
It's kind of ingrained.
It's a little bit of a Freudian slip, am I right?
Oh, is it showing?
But okay, you're coming up to north of Oconto. That's kind of neat, especially for being the back door, as far as trying to drive here, and it's about time, it's how many heads do we have to crack to get him up here?
Yeah, it has been a little bit of a while. We have, if my memory serves me, NWA Wisconsin has put on pro wrestling at this arena before, but it has been a while, maybe a couple of years. Certainly not since now the place is known as the Wrangler Inn, which frankly I can't wait to see. It sounds like a good time to me, and we are very happy to be bringing pro wrestling back to the Oconto area.
All right. Now, is there more besides those cards? What else is going on? Come on, tell me.
Well, there's plenty more matches besides those championship ones that I mentioned earlier. For instance, and this one ought to be an absolute war. Canadian-made Brandon Hayes, who's not a real fan of anything American, mind you. He's from north of the border, and he thinks everything up there is superior to what we got down here. He's going to be facing basically the devil incarnate, Sam Hain. Now, if you've never seen Sam Hain perform, you may want to cover your eyes. Sam Hain comes in looking like something out of a Danzig video, or like the fiery depths that you-know-where opened up and brought this guy forth. He's got in his full mask and horns and scary-looking suit of armor, and then, get this, folks, he breathes fire. I'm not kidding. He breathes fire. He comes out with his torch, and he literally blows hellfire right at you. You can feel the heat all the way across the venue. It scares the bejesus out of me.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Sam Hain and I have a little bit of history. The reason I wear these glasses, which of course you can't see on the radio, is because back in 2000 in the locker rooms at UWGB during our television debut, Maximum Detention, Sam Hain misted me in the eyes with the green mist that he can also spit, and yeah, it's screwed up my vision to this day. Sam Hain is not a character to be messed with. He is one of the scariest dudes I've ever come across in professional wrestling.
So in other words, we're having a border war here.
No, there's going to be a border war as well, definitely, especially with Jerry Stylz and Kujo. That's definitely going to be a bit of a border battle, if you will.
I'm talking about Canada versus the United States.
That as well. This might be one of our guys on the line here.
All right. Bruno, you want to grab it?
Okay. Bruno, we'll slide the phone over to you there. Stick your mic by it.
Oh, wait a minute. Terry's got it.
Oh. We are expecting a couple of phone calls here, folks. Some of the professional wrestlers that you will see tonight or tomorrow night at Showdown at the Wrangler Inn are expected to join us via the phones here at the WOCO studios. Yeah.
But anyway, we've got plenty of other things going on here at the studio, so go ahead, talk.
Okay. While we're waiting, there's still much more on the card, folks. Another wrestler who we haven't seen in a little while, but this is a big muscle dude as well. Jet Bennett, a relative newcomer to NWA Wisconsin, also big and barrel-chested, taking on Steve Sadist. Was a young guy coming up in NWA, but he's also a dude who scares the you-know-what out of me. Steve Sadist is a tough dude. Those two are going at it also, and this one was just signed recently. A former half of the tag team champions, TW3, taking on Adrian Lynch. Oh, Bruno, what do we got?
We have Kujo on the line.
Is this the one and only Dog of War?
It is, and how dare you? How dare you disrespect me? And first, I call one time, and number one, I don't ever, when people see my number coming in on their caller ID, they literally pick up before the first ring. I don't know how that works, but they do. And I had to sit for 4 rings, and then you pick up the phone, and then you hang up on me. What's that all about?
I'm pretty sure that was just a technical malfunction. We certainly mean disrespect their Dog of War, but hey, let's talk a little bit about your match coming up tomorrow at the Showdown at the Wrangler Inn. You versus Jerry Stylz for the ACW X Division Championship in a border city brawl. Talk a little bit about your motivations going in here, Kujo.
Well, a lot of my good personal friends are the Peshtigo Bulldogs, and it's my understanding that there's some kind of association with Jerry Stylz and the Oconto. He's a Blue Devil. He's from Duke, and I don't know if he's their mascot or what he is, but let me tell you, I'm coming in tomorrow, and I earned the right over the years to have the shot at that X Division title, and I'm going to give that title a new name, and I'm never going to lose it.
Dare we ask what the new name will be, or do we have to wait for the show to find that one out?
I might just let one of the fine Peshtigo ladies, I don't want any of the Oconto ladies touching my belt, but as soon as I win that belt, I'm going to drive straight up to Peshtigo, and I'm going to probably dance around with some of the dollies up there, and then after 2, 3, 4 schlitzes, I might let them touch it, and I'll let them come up with the name.
Sounds like a typical Dog of War night to me. All right, now Kujo, a lot of people are wondering how in the world you actually got that name. For the folks listening here on WOCO, tell them how you came across the name Kujo.
All right, well, it's an interesting story, and that goes back to Peshtigo, too. As many of my close friends, I'm an avid hunter and fisherman. I mean, it's what I live for besides beating people up. But, about 15 years ago, I'm up on the Peshtigo River walleye fishing, and, I'm up there with one of my girlfriend at the time. I've had so many. But we're up there, and we had, we had a cooler full of Schlitz and some roasted chicken up there. And it was a long day, and there was one bottle of Schlitz left and one piece of chicken left, and she was going in for both of them, so I bid her. She was never heard from again.
You bit your girl over the last piece of chicken and the last Schlitz?
Come again?
Said you bit your girl over the last piece of roasted chicken and the last Schlitz?
Absolutely, I did. And, you know, I come home and I told my buddies about it at the bar that night, and they go, wow, you're like a mad dog. You're like a rabid dog. You should call yourself Kujo. And I said, well, sounds good to me, brother. At least I got my last bottle of Schlitz.
And thus the legend was born. Kujo, talk a little bit about how you got started in the sport of pro wrestling and how your career has gotten to this point.
Well, it's kind of a funny story. I was a huge AWA wrestling fan. I know a lot of the people in the northeast Wisconsin area. They're all familiar. If you're a wrestling fan, at least you're probably familiar with the old Vern guy in the AWA.
No doubt.
And I was too. And I used to go to a lot of the shows, and I remembered some of the guys that were more, you know, undercard guys in the AWA were also local wrestlers. Back, you know, we're talking in the late 80s, early 90s, and there was one gentleman, his name was Tony the Annihilator, and I seen him in the Entertainer. That's like a local entertainment newspaper. I seen him. He was going to be wrestling, and in Green Bay at a place called the Kingdom for Packerland Pro Wrestling at the time, which is now defunct. Go figure. But and this guy was larger than life. I mean, he was huge. He was everything. I mean, he was 380 pounds and all muscle. You know, he could bench press 700 pounds. And I said, you know, I'm gonna chase this guy down, and I'm gonna figure out, you know, if he can get me into business. So I found out where he lived. And it sounds a little stalkerish, but after I was at the wrestling shows, I seen him in person. I found out that he lived in New London, Wisconsin, and so I called the local bar. You know, everything that Dog of War did back in the day, well, and a little bit now, revolves around going to the local taverns. But where else are you going to get a good barroom brawl from, right?
Exactly.
So, anyway, I called the local bar and I said, hey, any of you guys know where to get a hold of a guy from New London called Tony the Annihilator? And they go, oh, yeah, he owns the local gym here in town. Here's the number. So I called him up and I said, hey, I'm a big guy. I weigh about 310 pounds. I go, I'm a big fan of yours, and I really think I could give this a go. I go, would you know anybody who will train? And he goes, yeah, brother, I'll come on down, and if you got $4,500, pay up front. He's like, I'll train you to be a wrestler. You know, and that's how it was back in the day. Is if you wanted it bad enough, you had to come up with that cash. So I sold my Harley, and I sold my car and got a cheaper car, and I came up with the cash, and that's how it all started.
And thus the legend begins of the Dog of War. Real quick, Kujo, before we go, what happens to Jerry Stylz if you get him in position for the mullet cutter?
Whoa, come again? You're kind of breaking up a little bit here.
I say, real quick before we go, if you manage to get Jerry Stylz in the mullet cutter, is he pretty much done?
Oh, the match will be over with. Heck, I'll be honest. I might give it to him 2-3 times just because. Just because.
The war between...
I can. I mean, Weasel felt it. He felt it on the last ACW show in Deep Pier.
True enough. He's going for the ACW X Division Championship tomorrow at the Wrangler Inn, ladies and gentlemen. The Dog of War, Kujo. Kujo, thanks for joining us.
Oh, anytime.
Right. There you have it, folks. One of the wrestlers you'll see performing tonight at the Wrangler Inn, NWA Wisconsin's very own Kujo, the Dog of War, joining us here on WOCO.
I do have to apologize, but Bruno wasn't heard much over the last, unless he yelled loud enough that for some reason his mic was not working today. So
I didn't do that on purpose, I swear.
I wonder about that.
Don't worry, Larry. I'm just a man of little words.
Yeah, big ones are hard for him to spell.
Exactly.
So anyway, yeah, well, it sounds like a great card again.
It's going to be phenomenal, absolutely. And matter of fact, are we coming up on a break here relatively quick, or?
Yeah, we are. Matter of fact, we should take a real quick. You got 30 seconds.
Yeah, before we go to that break, Bruno's got a quick announcement for everybody.
We're going to take caller number 4 during the break to win themselves a pair of tickets to the show on Saturday. And before we go to break, I just want to mention that today, starting at the show here, till 5 p.m. you can get your tickets at the Wrangler Inn at a special price for $5 a piece. That is general admission tickets till 5 p.m. today, the Wrangler Inn, $5 a piece.
That's like half off.
And not only that, but again, if you're a winner in the last 60 days, you cannot play. So that's our only special rule we have. If you won in the last 60 days, you can't play. So caller number 4, let's see if we can get those tickets away.
We are at 72 degrees on the outside. Let's head back to your talk show this morning.
Here's Bruno. And again, good morning, everybody. Again, we're talking about wrestling. Where?
NWA Wisconsin presents Showdown at the Wrangler Inn, coming up tomorrow night at the Wrangler Inn, 8894 Old 41 Road. The doors open up at 7. Bell time is at 7:30, and we got a special deal for you folks from now until 5 o'clock. Go get your tickets at the Wrangler Inn. General admission tickets are half off, just $5 from now until 5 o'clock. Thanks to our friends here at WOCO Radio for tomorrow night's big pro wrestling event, courtesy of NWA Wisconsin at the Wrangler Inn. Bruno, what do we got?
We have Thomas Walton III, also known as TW3, on the line.
Ladies and gentlemen, TW3. TW, how you doing, baby?
I'm doing pretty good. How you guys doing today?
Good, man, good. Good to have you on up here on WOCO Radio. TW3, you got a heck of a match here. You've been doing a lot of tag team competition lately in ACW and NWA Wisconsin. But tomorrow night up in Oconto, you're going one-on-one with Adrian Lynch. Talk a little bit about that one.
Well, I faced Adrian Lynch in the past, and, I respect him as a veteran and everything in this business, but the last time I faced him, I didn't have too much respect, and I've seen him a couple more shows now, and, I got a lot more respect for the guy. He may not be the biggest baddest on the planet here, and what, NWA Wisconsin has to offer, but he's got a lot of experience, and I can respect that. I can learn a lot from him, and tomorrow night, I'm pretty sure that we're going to have a great match, and after that, I'll still respect him as much as I do now. So,
TW3 is one of the fan favorites in NWA Wisconsin. He's capable of some of the most amazing maneuvers we've ever seen in that ring. Now, TW3, you're giving away probably a good 50, maybe 75 pounds to a fella like Adrian Lynch. How do you, or what's your plan of attack for going after a vet that's that much bigger than you?
Well, pretty much since I'm a littler guy and I like to fly around a lot more, my thing is going to be to try and ground Adrian, and with my high-flying moves, probably work on his legs a little bit, take him down like that. Keep him on the ground so that he can't really pick me up and slam me, I got to do whatever I can to stay away from him picking me up and throwing me around like a rag doll.
Classic strategy there. Now, in like the last year or so, TW3, the fans have really taken a liking to you. Talk to us about how much the energy from the crowd is helping you out there in the ring.
The energy in the crowd, really, man, I feed off of those fans. Those fans are pretty much what keeps me going right now in this business. When I first started, they didn't really like me too much, but then I kind of reverted back to my true self, and, they took a liking to me. I won the X Division title, won the tag team titles with my partner Jay Cash, and they keep me going. They're my motivation. I love to interact with the fans during the show and even after the shows at our parties afterwards. So I love the fans, and I'm glad they respect me and love me that much to keep me that motivated.
Now you're looking forward to bringing a little of the hip hop flavor to the Wrangler Inn up in Oconto?
I am. I'm not too sure about Oconto having a lot of hip hop flavor and urban dictionary terms, but I'm really excited to come to Oconto. I've been up there a few times, driven through there, never really stopped. So I'm interested to see how those fans are going to take a liking to me, or if they will or not.
All right. Any predictions for the singles action between you and Adrian Lynch tomorrow night?
I can only predict that we're going to have a great match. We're going to put on one hell of a show, and it's a show that the fans in Oconto and around the surrounding area won't want to miss.
There you have it, folks. TW3, former half of the tag team champions, one-on-one against Adrian Lynch tomorrow night at Showdown at the Wrangler Inn. TW3, thanks for joining us, man.
No problem. Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, TW3, folks, and he's another one of those fellas, the Larry that I was telling you about, who's an absolute incredible competitor. The man is speed personified, and he does amazing things inside the ring. And I've never seen a crowd get so fired up as when that kid makes his entrance. TW3 is on fire in NWA Wisconsin.
Yeah, and Bruno, I want to tell you this right now. You got to watch out. Good things come in small packages. I mean, so the Weasel may have your number.
Exactly. That's what I always got to worry about. He is a weasel for a reason.
That's Mr. Ness, Bruno. Come on, man.
WOCO.
They're coming in fast and furious here on WOCO Radio today.
Yep, hang on a second.
Looks like we have another caller, fans. Hold on a second. We'll put him on the line.
All right, Bruno, who we got here?
WOCO Radio.
Yeah, this is Diamond Dave calling in.
There's my boy, Diamond Dave DeMone, a proud member of the cabinet. Dave, this is your Commissioner William W. Sentowski here. How you doing, partner?
Good. It's about time, Thrill. Get me on this phone.
Exactly. We had to clear some of the other folks out of the way. Now we got Diamond Dave DeMone, perhaps the sparkliest man in all of NWA Wisconsin. Certainly the best-dressed professional wrestler I have ever seen.
You can also refer to me as the Kobe Bryant of professional wrestling.
Ooh, I like that. And for those of you who don't know, Diamond Dave DeMone would like you to know that he is a future ACW Hall of Famer. Ain't that right, Dave?
And we can't forget that, Thrill, the future of ACW and professional wrestling.
Outstanding. Now, as we told you before, folks, Diamond Dave DeMone has himself a shot at the big time. He's in a three-way dance for the ACW Heavyweight Championship, going up against the current champion, Dinn T and former champ, Cadillac Nick Colucci. Dave, your first shot at the big gold. Tell us about the opportunity.
Well, with the opportunity, it's much deserved, I think, in my eyes. As far as Nick Colucci goes, I don't care for him. Yeah, he's been around a long time, big deal. As for Dinn T, I do have a little respect for him. Reason why, he's put in his time. He's been down with the Harley race. But big deal, none of that's going to matter when it comes down to tomorrow. Tomorrow, Diamond Dave's coming away with a victory with the cabinet.
I like it. You know, as I said, Diamond Dave DeMone, one of my guys in my cabinet. I'm certainly rooting for him to take the ACW Heavyweight Championship. Now, Dave, how good would the ACW gold look along with the sequin vest and power gauntlets that you bring with the style and the flavor every time you hit the ring?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. You were breaking up.
I said, how good is the gold going to look around your waist in combination with the vest and the gauntlets and the whole look? How good are you going to look with the 10 pounds of gold around that waist of yours?
Oh, my God. It's going to look like the greatest thing in the world. I'm not only the sexiest man alive, adding that 10 pounds of gold around this waist is just going to make it look even better. That's just going to add more to the accomplishments of Diamond Dave.
Outstanding. Now, can we expect to see Mr. Ness out there with you, helping you manage around and give you a little bit of a hand on outside the ring there?
The Weasel? Weezy? I like calling him Weezy. Yeah, I actually enjoy having him down at the ring. It's kind of funny watching him do his thing sometimes. But I don't need him in order to win. I win fair and square like every other match. You've seen the thrill.
I certainly have, sir.
That's definitely not the way I seen it, DeMone.
Wait a minute, Bruno.
Yeah, the game broke up on me.
We also got Bruno here on the line, Diamond Dave, and of course Bruno has a little bit of an issue with Mr. Ness.
Well, Bruno needs to lose some weight.
Oh!
That much right now. Bruno and Weasel, I don't know what's going on between those two. I think it's more of a love affair on sometimes.
Hello!
But, Bruno, whatever it is, that's totally your guys' thing right now. I got Weasel's back. Bruno, you step in, you're going to get hurt. It's just plain and simple like that.
Is that a promise or is that a threat?
That's a promise, Bruno.
A promise, huh? Well, just remember, I do have friends too, and my friends you might not want to mess with either.
It's kind of funny to say it because you and Weasel, because of you messing around with Weasel, I lost to Douglas Peterson. Now, like I said, I didn't have problems with you before that, but you get in my business again, we're going to have a problem.
Correction, you lost because of you. If you weren't worried about Weasel and me having our scuffle, you would have concentrated on your match, and you would have come up victorious against Douglas Do-Right Peterson.
Well, like I said, you stay out of this match. You come down, interfere, and I end up losing the World Heavyweight Championship. Not only is ACW going to have a problem, you're going to have a problem.
I'll welcome with you, open arms. That's all I got to say about that.
Okay, easy to hear, Bruno. Let's back up a little bit. Dave, we got to keep ourselves concentrated here on getting the ACW Championship within our cabinet here. He's got a three-way shot, folks, for the ACW Heavyweight title coming up tomorrow night. He is Diamond Dave DeMone. He is a future Hall of Famer, and he is the sexiest man in professional wrestling. Dave, any last words for the folks here?
No, just one more thing. I'm going to be the winner and the new ACW champion, and I want you to pass it on to Dinn T for me, okay?
I'll have to send him a telegram. There he is, folks. Diamond Dave DeMone, the new ACW heavyweight champion. Thanks, Dave. We'll see you later.
Thank you.
A proud member of my cabinet, ladies and gentlemen, and the next heavyweight champion.
Yeah, you talk about it. It is a little bit of a tussle there, Bruno.
Yeah, Bruno, why you got to make enemies with members of my cabinet, man?
Quite frankly, I just don't like you.
Hey, Commish, it may not be an ACW show. This may be, this is run by NWA Wisconsin. It may not be the supreme power, but remember, I got jurisdiction over ACW matches, and sooner or later you're going to end up at Baba Louie's under my domain, and then mind your P's and Q's, Mister.
We'll see what happens then. I'm not worried about it now.
Meantime, what we are worried about is I shouldn't say worried, excited about is the big card coming up tomorrow at the Wrangler Inn. NWA Wisconsin's Showdown at the Wrangler Inn, right there on Old 41 Road. Doors open up at 7. Bell time is 7:30. Now, Larry, tell them one more time how to get around the construction.
Especially if you're coming in from the Gillette Oconto Falls area, what you want to do is you want to get to Stylz Junction, head north on Stylz Junction at 141, pick up County Highway A.
He said Stylz.
Stylz Junction. Yeah, so you're close enough. Stylz Junction within.
It's funny because of Jerry Stylz, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Go to Jerry Stylz' house. Then you really get lost. You're gonna head north on 141, pick up County Highway A at Lena, take it to the east, and that's how you get to. And I'll take you to take you back to 41, go north on 41.
The Wrangler Inn, folks. We haven't been there in a long time, and it's going to be terrific. All right, Bruno, who we got on the line next?
We have none other than Jerry Stylz.
The ACW X Division champion joining you this time, Jerry Stylz. Jerry, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Every time I call in, it seems to cut out a little bit on my end, but that's okay. Was that Dave DeMone that was on just before me?
That was Diamond Dave DeMone, allegedly the next ACW heavyweight champion.
Was he also still claiming to be a future Hall of Famer?
He was.
Was he also claiming to be a rehab waiting to happen? Because that's pretty much what that guy is.
Hey, wait a minute.
Hey, Dave. No, I'm not. Anyway, how you doing, Will?
Things are good up here in the Commissioner Land, baby. We got a showdown at the Wrangler Inn coming up tomorrow night, and you, sir, have yourself your first title defense since winning the ACW X Division Championship. Congratulations on that. You drew a heck of an opponent in the Dog of War.
Yeah, I got Kujo. This guy. If you don't know who Kujo is, if you're listening and you've kind of not heard who this guy is, we're talking about a man who. This guy is about the size of a small vehicle, and he's about as mean as he's like this. They call him the Dog of War. The best way I can describe him is it's like if you put a pit bull on a diet of water, gunpowder, and snacks for about a week. That's still nicer than what he is.
Now, of course, Kujo was on this a little earlier, and he claims to have a lot of friends up with the Peshtigo Bulldogs, and frankly, doesn't care much for the Oconto Blue Devils. Now, as a Blue Devil yourself, a different kind, see Jerry Stylz comes from the Duke lacrosse team. Does that get under your skin just a little bit there?
You know, he can run all he wants about Bulldogs and the Blue Devils. We all know it's the Devils. There hasn't been a national champion named the Bulldogs ever. Okay, so we're going to be in Oconto. I'm a former Blue Devil myself. Oconto's the Blue Devil, so they're representing the people of Oconto today, and I think that they'll be proud with what I can do against this guy. It's going to be a tough battle, but you know, I got to use my wits. I got to use speed. The guy's got the size and the strength on me, so I got to use some speed. I got to use some quick. I got to use my wits. So that's the only way that I'm going to be able to counteract what this guy can do in the ring. Because I've seen him in dog collar matches. I've seen him take chair shots like no other man. I've seen this guy just, you know, take a beating. I mean, the guy's head is like a coconut, and it's going to be a tough one. He's a legend, and I respect that. You know, and I'll be going in like that. But you know, that doesn't mean I'm going to back down anytime soon.
This is your first title defense since winning the ACW X Division Championship. Your first singles title in your pro wrestling career, if I remember right. Tell us about what that meant for you to win that title from Douglas Duray Peterson last month at Baba Louie's in De Pere.
Well, for the maybe person listening to this that was there, or for you guys, To go back to what happened is I had to face again Douglas D. Peterson. Great guy, great competitor. When he first started coming in and learning the business, and he first started wrestling, I didn't expect much out of this guy. I don't think anybody did, but he's the quintessential underdog, so to speak, and he's triumphed over everything. And me now went back and forth. I'll tell you, no matter what, you can't underestimate that guy. We went in there. I did not underestimate him, and watched my game tape, was ready, and they would just kind of pull it out at the last minute and did it right and gave the guy a handshake at the end. And here you have a new X Division champion on the line with you.
Now, speaking of, are you going to have the belt with you on Saturday, or is it still on the wall at Daddy's dealership down in Raleigh-Durham?
That's funny. That's funny, Mr. Sentowski. That really is. This coming from a guy who is shaped like a pear. Anyway, no, it's not on the dealership wall. It's actually at home. It'll be with me. It'll be safe. It'll be guarded. So, but enough about the wrestling stuff for right now. For just a second here. Well, I just want to ask you, how are you doing?
Of course I'm excellent. I'm the commissioner of All-Star Championship Wrestling. Things couldn't be better.
Good. So I take it that you found a couple of friends in the field nearby in Oconto up there, didn't you?
Exactly.
Maybe a couple backstage Betties or backstage Bessies, if you know what I mean.
Exactly what are you implying, Mr. Stylz?
And speaking of what you're talking about, Jerry, I did just receive a telegram from Western Union assigned to Commissioner Will Sentowski.
Oh, okay, let me see what this says here, Jerry. Dear Commissioner, I just want to say I'll miss the way you always made googly eyes at me. Don't they always? And take care. LC, cow number 128 behind the WOCO studios. What the heck? Stylz, is this another one of your dang college fraternity pranks?
What?
Is this another one of your dang blasted college fraternity pranks?
If it was a prank, you wouldn't be standing at this point.
Oh, for crying out loud. He is the X Division champion. He faces Kujo tomorrow night at the Wrangler Inn. Ladies and gentlemen, Jerry Stylz. What's that?
Is Larry the Legend there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Larry, you're there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Larry, I got a quick question for you.
What?
Coming up the show?
I'm going to try.
Well, you should be able to say exactly why I should be at the show. Because I'll tell you what, if I beat Kujo this weekend, I want you to be there, to witness it, and to come in the ring with me and celebrate with me.
I surely will try.
Hey, there's no trying in life.
All right.
Just doing, okay?
All right. I'll have Bruno come pick me up.
You make sure you're there. Whatever you got to take to get there. I don't care if it's got to be a buggy. I don't care if it's a tractor. I don't care if you got to get one of those little scooters. I don't care if you have to strap a skate to one of your shoes and make it there. I want you to be there.
All right.
A personal invite. How about that,
I like that.
Dig that. Jerry Stylz, ACW X Division champion, in action tomorrow night at the Wrangler Inn. Jerry, we'll see you later.
See you later, Mr. Sentowski. Later, Bruno. Later.
That kid's got no respect for the office of the commissioner, but he is the X Division champion.
I think he's okay.
I think he's all right.
And that's half of why I think you don't. Bruno, I think we got one more coming on the line here.
WOCO?
You know, I mean, guy's got class.
Yeah, it's Bruno. Hold on.
He skipped most of his classes.
Don't turn that upside down. There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have none other than Dinn T, the ACW heavyweight champion, on the line.
The champ is here. Dinn T, how are you?
I'm pretty good. How about yourself?
Doing good, boss. Doing good. Coming up tomorrow night at the Wrangler Inn, you're defending your title in a three-way dance against Cadillac Nick Colucci and Diamond Dave DeMone. Now, we've already heard from Diamond Dave, and he didn't have the nicest things to say about you. What's your opinion of both your competitors there, Dinn T?
Both competitors. Nick Colucci, he's a guy that challenged contenders. He's a former ACW champion. And Dave DeMone, I guess, is an up-and-coming ACW star. But I'm the champion. I'm the one with the belt. I'm the one that'll do whatever it takes to win. Those guys can bring it, but it ain't going to happen. They're not taking my belt away from me.
So you're not sweating it, champ?
What's that?
You're not sweating it, huh, champ?
Oh, I'm going to lead the champ. You know that.
And Dinn T always confident anyways. Folks, real quick, Dinn T, for those of you who don't know you, tell us about how your career in wrestling has gone and what you benefited from learning under NWA World Champion Harley Race.
I've been wrestling for about 10 years. when I moved down to Missouri, it was probably the best thing I could have done. Of course, everyone knows 8-time world champion Harley Race. One of the best guys to learn in this business. When I went down there, it was a lot of learning how to do whatever it takes to win. Harley would always, he'd do whatever it takes. He'd punch you in the nose, he'd out-wrestle you, he'd stretch you out, whatever it could. And learning under him, being in the ring and having him ringside, teaching me everything, I benefited 100 times from that. I mean, one of the greatest experiences of my life was living down there.
And now you're coming up to ply your craft up in Oconto. That's going to be exciting for to have a match at the old Wrangler Inn, huh?
Oconto better be ready because Dinn T's coming.
And the party doesn't even start until even after the match is over, right?
What's that?
And then once the match is over, the party really gets going, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep. I love my going to the after party. NWA Wisconsin does some of the best after parties there is, so.
That we do. Real quick, what's your strategy for taking on 2 men at once in the three-way dance for the title?
My strategy is basically going there and beat up anybody that gets in my way. I'll do whatever it takes to win. I don't care. The champion gets the most money at the end of the night, and I need to pay some bills, so I will leave the champion.
There you go, folks. The ACW heavyweight champion, Dinn T defends his title in the three-way dance coming up tomorrow night at the Wrangler Inn. Showdown at the Wrangler Inn. Dinn T, thanks for joining us here on WOCO.
All right, thank you.
There you have it, Larry the Legend, the ACW heavyweight champion. That's a heck of a list we got for you here today.
Yeah, that's an awesome list.
Right.
You always bring an awesome list with you every time. I just enjoy Jerry the best because he knows you the best because of the neighbors.
That wacky college kid, I swear. Meanwhile, real quick before we have to go, Bruno, we got some people to thank for making this day possible.
Definitely our line of sponsors for this show again. Northeast Wisconsin Tractor, Tire and Exhaust in Oconto Falls for doing all the work on our bus for us. Vollmer's Trailside of Suring, where you can get the greatest wings around Tuesday nights. All you can eat wings for $6 every Tuesday night. Oconto County Lumber of Oconto Falls, Wood Lanes and Pulaski for our great after parties down there at Zielinski's. Company came along, helped us out in the long run, puts out all our posters, all our flyers and stuff like that. Herties Custom Printing out of Gillette. You can reach them at herties.com for all your screen printing and embroidery needs. CS Insurance in Lena, and as well as Dog Days in Morgan.
Fantastic. Thanks to all those sponsors that help make NWA Wisconsin Wrestling up here in Oconto a reality. Let's run down the card.
And before I forget, I do want to give a special thanks to WOCO for all their help and for allowing us to come on the radio here today.
Amen to that. And remember, folks, it's because of a WOCO that general admission tickets are on sale now until 5 o'clock at just $5. That's half off. General admission tickets, $5 from now until 5 o'clock at the Wrangler Inn, courtesy of our friends here at WOCO.
Spread the word.
Real quick, before we got to go, let's run down the card one more time. It is Showdown at the Wrangler Inn, brought to you by NWA Wisconsin, live local pro wrestling, tomorrow night at the Wrangler Inn on Old 41 Road. Doors open up at 7. The first match starts at 7:30. Real quick, your main event, the NWA Midwest Heavyweight Championship on the line. Silas Young defends the title against simply amazing Justin Dredd. Promises to be an incredible match. The NWA Wisconsin Heavyweight title up for grabs. Shane Hills, the brand new champion, defends against Mason Quinn. Quinn invoking his rematch clause after losing the belt in Pulaski at the last NWA Wisconsin show in April. Rematch for the title tomorrow night. ACW Heavyweight Championship defended in a three-way dance. Dinn T, the champion, you just heard from him, defends against Cadillac Nick Colucci and the man you heard from before earlier here on WOCO, Diamond Dave DeMone. Three-way dance for the ACW title. The ACW X Division Championship up for grabs. Jerry Stylz, you just heard him a minute ago, he's Larry the Legend's favorite, makes his first title defense ever against the Dog of War, Kujo. You heard from both men in that match right here on WOCO Radio. And the rest of the card, check this out. Sam Hain, oh man, the devil personified, against Canadian-made Brandon Hayes. Jet Bennett, big barrel-chested tough guy, against Steve Sadis, a promising young wrestler in NWA Wisconsin who scares the you-know-what out of me. GW3, Thomas Wallen III, you heard him here on WOCO. He faces Adrian Lynch. Plus, our very own Bruno signs a contract to fight my man, Mr. Ness, or as Bruno calls him,
The Weasel.
Coming up in September, the contract signing tomorrow night, plus a special announcement from the NWA Wisconsin Board of Directors. I don't even know what it is, and I'm commissioner of ACW. All that coming up tomorrow night at Showdown at the Wrangler Inn and on the Wrangler Inn at Old 41 Road, right here in Oconto. $15 for front row, $10 general admission, $5 for kids under 12. General admission tickets half off if you buy them from now until 5 o'clock at the Wrangler Inn.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Absolutely. Larry Legend, you be there because Jerry Stylz requested your presence. We want to thank everybody for listening here on WOCO, helping us spread the word about NWA Wisconsin live local pro wrestling. See you tomorrow night at the Wrangler Inn for Showdown at the Wrangler Inn. He's Bruno. I'm the Commissioner, William W. Sentowski, reminding you, don't cross the boss. NWA Wisconsin live local pro wrestling. Thank you, WOCO, and good night.